So with a lot of the range of motion work which we're going to do today, we're looking really to promote better range of motion in 3 key areas. First of all, in the streamlined position from here, 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 into a much better, more streamlined position, which allows more control of your torso, better alignment, improved reach extension through the catch, or into the catch rather, as well as an opportunity hopefully to limit any snaking going on as well. A little bit of internal rotator work as well, so again making sure that when you're getting into this position here, your catch isn't so low, it's a little bit higher on. And then finally, we'll do a little bit of work at the end looking at your ankle flexibility and trying to improve that as well. These are 3 really common areas, especially for triathletes, that we see are really, really difficult for them to improve their swimming without improving these areas as well. So first of all, let's work on our streamlining position. So again, as mentioned, you see a lot of people who lift their arms up, and about as far as they can get is about here, potentially even with their arms in that sort of position. So we want to make sure that we're working everything from a good platform, so we'll work on our posture as well, but a lot of this is about opening up your shoulders and getting yourself in the right sort of position. So with all of these, we want to make sure, with these exercises, we want to make sure that your shoulders are up, back, and then down. You're lifting yourself tall, and you're standing quite proud. So you're kind of almost puffing yourself up with a bigger chest. That's honestly not me trying to look any more intimidating or anything, but what you're trying to do is trying to make yourself set yourself up to have a really good platform to start working your levers, your arms, in this instance, off in order to engage a really good stroke mechanics. So the first thing we're going to try and do is actually work on increasing some of the mobility in your scapula. So we're looking at putting a tennis ball around about just about here, and just loosening it off. So I'm going to use a golf ball, partly because I couldn't find any tennis balls immediately, but also it's a little bit harder, a little bit more precise. You could use tennis ball, hockey ball, dumbbell, lacrosse ball, physio balls. You can really use anything at all to really get into that point. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the ball on the ground, hopefully it doesn't run away. You're going to find the point which works best for you in terms of where your scapular point is. Put that in there, and then from that position you're just going to move your arm up, and then down. And then you're going to keep on moving it around through that range of motion. Again, making sure you're holding yourself with good posture all the way through. Let's go for 10 to 15 on each side, and you're going to feel that you're going to get a nice little fascial release or active release in that area just there. Once you've done that on one side, you can look at doing the other side as well by moving the ball across into the right sort of place. So that's the first thing, to try and loosen up your scapular area and help yourself moving a little bit better as well. Now we want to try and once we've loosened up the fascia and everything, we'll try and get to a position where we're now starting to get a little bit of motion and control coming in as well. So we take a band. I've tied a couple of bands together to get a bit of motion in this one. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the band, then slide our arm through it to around about elbow position, and then stand behind our hands behind our back, so it's sitting to the small of the back. From here, with that nice position just there, take a bit of strain in the arm, and what you do is you're going to lift with a good shoulder position, lift your shoulders up, and then lift your shoulders down. Again, trying to keep the elbow from coming in forwards and down. Resist the band, and then down. Again, this is just getting a little bit of motion and control coming into the shoulders, so the movement is increasing the range of motion, whilst also bringing in some nice control. Do that both sides. So again, you can take an opportunity to have a look at both sides. Notice I'm just setting my shoulders up first, so I'm not starting from a slump position. Set myself up, good posture, good proud position, shoulders up around the back, and then lift that shoulder up, and then down, up, and then down, up, and then down. Again, looking at about 5 to 6 on each side. Next, we're going to look at a really good movement to help get a control on the shoulder, bit of resistance coming in, and because we have a longer lever, it's going to make the whole thing a little bit harder. Lie down into a position, take a little bit of strain around about here, and what you're going to do is you're going to bring your hand up to the top, lift your hand up and then down, and then bring your hand all the way down. getting control of the scapula, but you're also then making sure that your whole rotation is coming from the shoulder, which will help loosen things up. Again, let's try and do both sides. And from that, you can go straight in actually to the scapular press up. So you do a press up, but instead of going down with your arms, you're going to look at trying to just rotate and control those scapulars. So you're going to go up and down just by using your shoulders. There's no arm motion at all. So again, looking into this press up position. From there, set your shoulders and everything, and then you're going to go down and up, down and up. And all of that is being controlled by your scapulars and your shoulders. We're not looking at using any of the elbows to come out or anything like that. It's just set yourself, and then you're setting everything from the shoulder. Finally, we're going to look at doing a little bit more motion. So you're going to take the strain off the band from here. Set your shoulder up really nicely. It's important the shoulder stays controlled throughout this whole exercise. We don't want any movement going forwards or anything. So you're going to set yourself nice and proud. Look forwards. You're going to drive the elbow back. You're going to rotate around your shoulder. So notice this rotation from there round to that point. And then here, you're going to press up. Again, not letting yourself fall down. Making sure you're pressing up, controlling through your core. Don't let that lower back come down again. Back again, rotate, and down. So drive, rotate, press. Back down, rotate, and back. And that whole motion there is going to be totally controlled. Use a lighter band if you need to. Don't try and push this one to get better strength, work out inverted commas and end up using your form. Hold your form, make sure you're taut through your body. Rotate, press, down, rotate, and then back in again. Next, we're going to look into improving our internal shoulder rotation. So with our internal shoulder rotation, that's what's going to allow us to get from this position here into a nice catch position. So it's that ability to remove your shoulder through here. A really good test is when you look at good swimmers. You're going to see them from this position, and I don't count myself as a good swimmer, but the flexibility keeps on going all the way around. So you get to a point where you can't move much further, and you'll find that actually you can keep on going, and the shoulders stay almost controlled in that position, and they can go all the way down without that shoulder moving forwards. So if you can improve that rotation there, from that position, you can get to a better catch position because it's higher, you can be longer through the stroke because you can pull further through as well. As opposed to if you go to a catch position down here, you've got less distance than if someone can get into that catch position over there. But that needs to have internal rotation of the shoulder. Without it, you're going to struggle to be able to deliver a long and effective stroke. So, we're going to look at trying to improve that one. What you need to do is you need to get nicely into a nice lying down position like this. You can do this watching the TV anytime you want. If you want to put a pillow just here, you can. I'm going to try and look at you guys. Bring your hip all the way through so your pelvis is in a slightly backwards tilting position, and you're going to get your hand up to this position here. You're going to rotate it to wherever you feel comfortable, and that's as far as you're happy going. You're going to breathe in, breathe out, and you're just going to push this down a little bit further. Just hold it for about 30 seconds or about 3 or 4 breaths. And as you're holding it, just hold the position there and breathe in, and then just give it a little bit more of a push at the end, get a little bit more rotation. Notice I'm making sure that my shoulders are nicely in a good position. I'm engaged with my core, and I'm not kind of slopping through or anything like this. I'm actually still in quite a positive position. So there we go. We're going to come back a little bit, and we're just going to now push with this hand in that direction. So you're going to push up for a count of 20 and resist that motion. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and relax, and you should find that the mobility goes a little bit further. You can push on the forearm to make sure the rotation is coming, the movement's coming from the arm, not the wrist. Depends how much reliever you want to have, and then relax. You'll notice now my mobility has already gone a lot further than before. I've not done this more times. Do this 3 times through on each side and improve the internal shoulder rotation to help yourselves get into a better catch position. Finally, we're going to look into some of this ankle flexibility work as well. So with your ankle flexibility, you would probably do this without any shoes on, but there's a few key areas you definitely want to try and make sure are loose up before you start doing anything. This is something which, if you improve your flexibility at ankles, you are going to improve your ability to swim and kick better, but you're going to have more instability. And of course, if you've got more instability, that's going to mean it's going to be harder when it comes to things like running to get good stiffness in the bottom as well. So, first couple of things you might want to do is look into some rolling work along the just the outside of your shin bone in there, the top of your ankle as well, or indeed underneath your foot. So you can just be standing on it there, plantar fascia work, just loosen up that, make sure that's nice and loose. Again, rolling onto it. It doesn't have to be a golf ball. It could be something like a tennis ball, and this floor is going to make it ping out. But again, just rolling up and down through there, just making sure it's nicely loosened off. Once you've done a bit of work on the rolling side of things, that can be a foam roller or a ball or otherwise, you can start looking at trying to improve some of that flexibility. So here's a couple of things you can start looking at doing. You can start looking at this slightly what's called moving the ankle. Make a small figure of 8. Put your hand through your ankle through it like that. Pull it all the way out and just hold it. You can hold it there for 20, 30 seconds. You can then start doing some activation work, so bringing your foot forwards and backwards, eversions and inversions, eversion and inversion, and slowly get that ankle just moving a little bit more at the joint level. So you're not looking at flexibility of the muscles, you're looking at actually getting the joint mobilising a bit better as well. You can do both sides in that. And again, from this position, you might need shoes on. You can get into this nice position just here with a slightly thicker band pulling you back that way, and then just lean into there. Again, you're just getting that ankle joint just moving a little bit better. This is before we start doing some of the traditional things, which we're going to do in a second, like sitting on your ankles, getting them moving as well. Look at holding that for about 30 seconds on each side, and then doing 10 to 15 of your mobility eversions, inversions, forwards and backwards work as well with your ankle as well. I'm leaving my shoes off just to show a couple of other exercises you can do. If you've got a short step, side of the wall or anything also works. You can start looking at standing on a layer like this, bending over and just letting the slightly raised ankles kind of give a little bit more stretch into the ankle joint, or go the other direction. And again, from that ankle position there, you're then sending that stretch not only down the back of your legs, but also into the ankle joints themselves. Again, holding these for about 20 to 30 seconds, 2 or 3 times through. More you're looking at maybe doing 2 to 3 breaths as well. So we're going to look at doing a couple of those sort of static stretches, but finally, probably one of the single most useful and effective ways of doing this is almost kneeling on your ankles as well. So you make sure your ankles are in a sort of streamline-ish position, so maybe slightly pointed inwards, not out that way too much, but in that kind of position you have when you're swimming. I'm going to use my shoes to protect my soft knees, and I'm going to be sat in that position, putting my ankles nicely on the ground behind me, and I'm just going to sit in them. I'm going to try and get the ankle itself being the bit which is stretching out, so I'm sitting on them there, or I might even actually just resting on them as well. It depends how flexible your ankles actually are, lifting the knees up to putting more weight through that one. The more you can do this can be a really great way of watching some TV or finishing off a session and just stretching a little bit and just making sure those ankles are better. Those of you who are less flexible find that they're more and more like this. You do want to try and see if you can slowly bring your ankles back and move that one. As I said though, as you improve your ankle flexibility, you're going to make sure that you're still doing the same sort of stability work, especially when it comes to single leg stuff for running.